All right, now how do I find the chat? YouTube. Where the fuck's my channel? My channel. Killing time whilst waiting for Dave. Do we actually have anybody in the chat? No. Mute myself. Ah, there he is. What's going on, Tom? So, as the title so eloquently put it, I'm just... What the fuck? Dave's in the chat. So yeah, I just figured I'm sitting here thinking like, God, we still got to wait about an hour before Dave gets back. Everybody's like chomping at the bit on the fucking Facebook group. So I'm like, fuck it. I might as well start a live stream. If anybody hops in the chat, we can just bullshit for a little while until Dave gets back. So Tom, since you're on here, should I continue wearing this or should I get the tank top out and wear it before Dave gets here? Because I know how much he loves it. And it is our last remote recording. That's where this whole fucking thing started, was when I wore it way back in the beginning in Mississippi. Sipping a little coffee. I'm drinking some half decaf. So I got this this Folgers French vanilla. I do like some flavored coffee every now and again. Okay, I'll change off camera here in a minute. But I love coffee, period. Like, I've been hooked on coffee for years and years and years. And I drink it all the time, drink it all fucking day, especially during the colder weather months. In the summer, I back it off quite a bit just because it's too fucking hot. But anyway, I'm drinking like this Folgers. It's their French vanilla. The problem with Folgers flavored coffee is the flavoring is really, really strong. I just like coffee flavored coffee, but every once in a while I like some flavor in there. So what I got to do is I gotta split it with a different kind of coffee. So since it's also kind of later at night, I figure I'd split it with Just Fresh 64. What's up, man? But anyway, I cut it with decaf coffee. So it's half Folgers French vanilla, half just whatever the fucking decaf brand is that they give us here in the hotel room. Which, by the way, so I've been kind of hoarding a lot of the coffee they give us because they'll give us like 2 packets of decaf and 2 packets of regular every day. If you drink it, if you don't drink it, they don't give you more the next day. They just fill you back up to 2 and 2 of each. But what I've been doing is when I first got here, I actually bought my own coffee pot because I knew I was going to drink a lot more coffee than they were going to give me. But I figured I might as well be safe and just like every day, just grab a couple of the packets or, all of the packets and throw them in like one of the cabinets underneath. So they think I drank it. They give me more. And then I've got a nice stockpile for whenever I run out of my regular coffee. Well, I didn't realize how long I was doing this for. And just this last weekend, I go into that fucking cabinet. I must have had 80 fucking coffee packets. In fact, just hold that thought. I'll go grab one just so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's these guys. Just some regular old generic coffee. But yeah, I've seriously got like 80 of these in a cabinet. Like half of them are decaf, half of them are regular. These are the regulars. And they're just sitting in there. So now I'm probably going to leave them for the cleaning ladies when I check out on Saturday. And then they can restock their shit. But yeah, I love coffee. That's the whole point of the story. So anyway, what do we got? Episode 100. Are there any cheap motels you're into Jersey? Define cheap. I mean, there's cheap motels everywhere, but I mean, there's a ton of motels, hotels in the area. So, man, we're talking about like a massive pilgrimage out to Jersey, huh? For episode 100. That would be great, though. Or I just tell my wife, pack up the kids, take them to your sister's house for a couple of nights, and I'll have everybody crash in my house. That'll go over well. All right. Well, I mean, he was serious about coming, and messaged me after last week's episode, and he said, "Hey, man, I'm serious. I'll come down." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." Of course, the problem is if we start getting more than like 5 people in the studio, there's not a ton of room in there. We fit 5. Like after we do the rearranging, right now we could not fit 5. But once we redesign the whole thing, the whole purpose of the redesign is we're actually we want to be able to fit more than one guest in there. So I want to kind of do maybe like not a round table, but maybe do a table in kind of a rectangle so you can have people kind of sitting along the outside. We'll figure it out. But right now, in the shape the studio's in, we cannot fit 5 people comfortably, but we will. So yeah, Dave and I will discuss that, and we'll see what we can work out. Would Orange Jacket guy come as well? Oh my God, we have to sing Jedi Rock. Oh God, no, not Jedi Rocks. I guess, see, Jedi Rocks is to me what the holiday special is to Dave. So that would be pretty rough. Now, I would gladly sing parts from the holiday special for episode 100. That would actually be pretty fun. Good night, but not goodbye. Do, 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 do. There you go. There's an idea. Rent the Masonic Hall. Isaac, what's going on, man? So while we're here, I'll give you a bit of a preview of this week's episode. I've got the notes up here. We're going to do our intro. I'm going to talk about how it's the final remote recording session, hopefully forever. We're going to talk about the Boba Fett movie. I'm not going to get any more. I'm going to save that for the show. Got a couple of listener shout outs. We're going to talk about Dave's, speaking of the holiday special, we're going to talk about Dave's donation fund thing and that whole thing. Then we're going to roll into my week, which it's going to be pretty short again. Dave hasn't put his notes in because he hasn't been here all day. But I'm sure he'll get into that when he gets here. And then we'll roll into Rebels. We're doing 4 more episodes again. So the 4 episodes we're doing are The Occupation, Flight of the Defender, Kindred, and Crawler Commandeers, which they all happen to kind of follow the same storyline. So it's not like individual episodes. They all kind of follow. Essentially, it's the crew going back to Lothal and all of that. So we'll get into that. And then we'll talk about our return episode to the studios. Wawa, yes. You know what? I'll put a note in there right now for Dave to bring it to Wawa, because he said he has a big thing he wants to talk about. Wawa. And I'll add in my own stuff too. Inputs as well. What else was Dave going to talk about? Shit, what did I just say that Dave was going to talk about? Fuck. Oh well. I'm just reading Just Fresh's comment. All right, Just Fresh, remember, old age. Which regular listener are you again? I know you're one of our regulars, and I just can never remember what the nickname is. I always remember Just Fresh 64. Scott said he may or may not be able to make it tonight. Apparently the chat is a little bit behind my video. So I'm sitting here waiting for the chat to update before I say anything. And now it just probably looks like me sitting in silence like a crazy person. So while we wait, let's see what's going on in the news. That's news.google.com. You can't trust any fucking news sites anymore. I used to try to, like, I'd go to Google News, and you can kind of filter, because all Google News is they just combine news articles from a bunch of different sources. And I tried to filter out like the most extremes on each side, tried to filter out Fox, tried to filter out like MSNBC and the fucking Huffington Post and all that. And let's be honest, CNN is getting that way too. I used to love CNN, by the way. Like, they used to be like one of the only remotely neutral news sources out there, but even they've fucking gone crazy. So I try to get as much news from different sources as I can, and I try to get them from both sides because the real story is somewhere in between, regardless of which side is reporting it. It's just a shame that news has gotten to the point where it's like it's all biased. It doesn't matter. It's either biased for the far left or biased for the far right. There's nobody just saying this is what happened today, and not this is what happened today, and it's all the Democrats' fault or it's all fucking Trump's fault. You know, that's just my rant. Oh, New Jersey politicians. We've had quite a few very unique New Jersey politicians over the year. We had the gay governor for a while. That was fun. And then we had Chris Christie. That was quite an adventure. Christine Whitman, fuck her. I hated her. As a governor, anyway. I guess she's worked for some other presidents since then and has done okay jobs. But as a governor of New Jersey, she fucking sucked. And it's funny, too, because she was a Republican. She served, I want to say 2 terms, and Christie served 2 terms. And it's funny because, New Jersey is always thought of as such a far, left-wing liberal state. Yet we keep electing Republican governors over and over. Who knew? Trump tied his left shoe first. He's a demon. Yeah. Why do you know all about New Jersey politics, Tom? It's interesting. Though it's funny, there's a website out there. It's newjersey.com, I think, or nj.com. And they're kind of a news source, but after reading them, it seems like it's a real right-leaning local news source. Just food for thought. So anyway, let's just scroll through our Google News and oh my God. I don't even know why I fucking opened this shit. Because here you go. Because I click on a lot of Star Wars links, I get a lot of these clickbaity Star Wars news things. Oh, just threw up in my mouth a little bit. This is from Cinema Blend. Russian bots allegedly behind Kelly Marie Tran Star Wars The Last Jedi social media attacks. This fucking Russian bot, blaming Russian bots for fucking everything is fucking retarded. Now, granted, I'm sure that they're out there. I don't know if they're out there in massive numbers like they claim they are. But really, who the fuck in Russia gives a shit about Kelly Marie Tran and whether or not people liked her shit in Star Wars? Like, is that the way that you're going to start fueling dissension in the United States? Like, that's it. That's the chick in the armor where we're going to fucking stick our knife in and we're going to divide the country and we're going to, it's no, nobody gives a shit. Like that's not how you're going to fucking win the war against the United States. I tell you that much. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know why I pulled this stuff up. I really don't. It must have something to do with the fact that you watch us and we're constantly talking about New Jersey, Tom. That's the only thing. Because I know they're all fucking listening. Because I can remember just like saying something with my phone near me about something that I'd never talked about before. And then I get home and I pull up fucking YouTube and the first thing I see is an ad about that thing I was talking about in the fucking car. Yeah, all these motherfuckers, they're listening to us. But anyway, Cinema Bland is the cancer of geek news. I like it. Tom, do you have a Hulu, like one of their Prime subscriptions or anything? I'm actually thinking about canceling Netflix. We've got Amazon Prime, and we're never going to get rid of that. Like, I'm just being honest. We've had Netflix pretty much since its inception, and I've realized that I don't really watch it that much. I'll go to Amazon Prime whenever whenever I do stuff, whenever I watch things. Speaking of which, on Amazon Prime, there's some really good stuff on Prime right now. In case you don't know, Superbad is on there. Superbad, I think, is one of the funniest movies to be made in the 2000s. I was just watching that the other day. What else? Um, where is like recently watched videos? Whatever. There's good stuff on there. But yeah, I was just watching Super. Oh, Hot Tub Time Machine's on there. I watched Jigsaw, the latest Saw movie. I don't know why I keep watching these. Um, the first two were really good. The third one was, eh. The fourth one was, eh. And then everything after that was just. And then, but Jigsaw was actually not bad. I mean, it wasn't great. The ending was kind of predictable, but it was not the worst thing I've ever watched. So, again, we're just killing time until Dave gets here. So, just standard Hulu. Let's look at next. Fuller House. My wife watched the first season of that. She loved the original Full House. I was not a fan, but my wife, she always loved Full House. And when they did Fuller House, she's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." I don't know if she ever watched any of the subsequent seasons, or how many seasons have they done now? 2 or 3, maybe. Shit. Yeah, that was the last of my coffee. I can't make any more, or I'll be up all night. Speaking of which, I've been sleeping like absolute shit lately. I think a lot of it's kind of like the anxiety of getting home, and we'll get more into that. But yeah, I'll lay down and I'll be tired. Like my body will be physically tired. I'll lay down. I'm like, oh my god, I just need to fall asleep, and I can't. Like my mind won't shut down. This has been happening to me like several nights over the past couple of weeks. This has been going on for like 3 weeks now. And it's like 2 out of 3 nights I just can't fucking sleep, and it's starting to drive me insane. If you can't tell, I think a lot of it does have to do with just the anticipation of getting home, the anxiety about getting home, because even though it's going to be great, I'm going to be home, going to see my family again. We've talked about it before in previous episodes. Like it's going to be an adjustment for me, and I'm a little nervous about it, at home and work. Like going back to work, there are these super high expectations. Community, that is a great show. I loved Community. Even though people dogged certain seasons in the middle, I loved every single season of Community. That was one of my favorite shows ever. Good watch. But yeah, I can't sleep for shit, and it's been driving me crazy. Hopefully it gets better when I get home, though I think it's going to be worse. But yeah, my coworkers, like they're all expecting me to perform these damn miracles when I get home, and I'm just like, I don't know what you guys are expecting from me, because like all of my subordinates, they're like, oh my god, I can't wait for you to get back and get here and fix things. Things have been so terrible since you left. Oh, it's been awful. I'm like, oh Jesus. And then my commander texts me the other day, and he's like, hey, I'm really leaning on you to get things fixed around here, and we're really counting on you. So it's like, okay, that's not a lot of pressure or anything. And then I get home, and then, I'm sure my kids are going to want to be all over me like all day, every day, which I mean is normally fine. I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. But, what you're seeing right here on the screen, this has been my life for 9 months almost. Me by myself, isolated in a little room. It sucks sometimes. It gets lonely a lot of the times. But this is like kind of what my life has been, and now pulling me out of this and into a room or into a house with screaming kids, and we still have one dog, and him barking and running around, and my wife always wanting attention and everything else, and it's gonna be like sensory overload. And my kids, my oldest son he's turning 16 in November, actually, in exactly 1 month from today. So 1 month from today, my oldest son will be 16. Then my 2 younger ones are 10 and 11. So, or I'm sorry, 10 and 12, because my other son just had a birthday a few days ago. I missed his fucking birthday. So, yeah, so they're all like almost teenagers or fully teenager. So, but they're all good kids. Like all three of these boys, they're so different and so unique, and they're all just a blast to be around. So trust me, I'm looking forward to seeing my family again. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. It's just, it's just going to be a change of pace, and I know I'm not going to adjust well in the beginning. I'll get there, but yeah. So you are about, holy shit. Your birthday's in December too, huh? Yeah, mine's the 21st, December 21st, and I'll be 42 in 2 months. So that's cool. So you're a year younger than me. What year did you graduate high school, Tom? 95 or 96? Or were you homeschooled? And I'll just keep scrolling through the shit news while I wait for your response. And see, even though I said don't show me fucking Huffington Post articles, they do. And of course, it's like this super spun article. IBM bought Red Hat Linux today, which I think is interesting. Okay, so you graduated in 96. All right, so that's the year. No, my wife graduated in 95 too. Pay attention to the chat. What? Did I miss something, Dave? I don't know. I don't see anything else that he said. Yeah, what am I supposed to pay attention to, Dave? All I know is Dave's not here. Who? Dave? Dave's not here. Oh, yeah. Be curious to see where he's from. Bolivia. Pretty sure I've been there. It's pretty sad when you've been to so many countries that you can't remember which fucking countries you've all visited. Dave, you want to call in? Well, you still hold on. We don't want you to fucking crash while you're driving back to be on the podcast. So plus, I don't know how I would add you after the fact, after I've already started broadcasting. Is there a way to add somebody? Oh shit, there is. Invite people. I wonder if I can. I've been. Should call in. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can invite Dave. Add names or email addresses. Dave Martin. There he is. All right. Fuck it. We're doing it live. All right. I think I just added him. We'll see. Invitation posted. So we'll see if we get the Dave driving call in. Oh shit, is that him? Hey!
What up?
It worked.
Hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Don't fucking crash, for Christ's sakes. That's the last thing we need is to see you die live on fucking YouTube.
That would make for great fucking video though. Can you imagine how many fucking hits that would have?
That would get a lot of hits. Yeah, huh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, okay. Fuck. Well, then what'd you even bring it up for?
What's that?
What did you even bring it up for then, if you're not gonna at least consider doing it?
Take one for the team. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, think of the show, Dave.
I'm gonna put headphones in too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure the sound quality isn't the greatest.
Whatever. We're not pulling this audio for the podcast, so.
Yeah. This is a bonus episode just for our loyal followers, like Bronco Fett and Just Fresh.
Just Fresh.
Apparently, there's 5 people watching, so I don't know who else is in there.
There's headphones. All right.
Hey. Well, you sound a lot better.
Better. It's fucking Bose expensive ass headphones.
Are they lightning? Is it a lightning cable?
I got the adapter.
Oh.
Now these things are old. These are my my sweat-proof earbuds that I've been using in the gym for these are probably 4 years old, and I had a set before this that I was okay. All right, I'm going to make this a short story long, as per usual.
Yeah.
Because the other stuff you've been doing has just been riveting. We'll talk about my headphones. I can't see the chat while I'm doing this, unfortunately. Which is probably, honestly, it's probably for the best.
Well, I'll let you know if anything cosmic comes out of the chat.
Fair enough. So anyway, I'm in Denver at the airport, right? My earbuds broke, and I'm wandering around the Denver airport, and there's a kiosk, right, in the middle. You know how the fucking airports have all these kiosks, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was a little Bose kiosk, and I'm like, fuck, these things are always so fucking expensive. And I'm sniffing around, and
and just to interrupt real quick, those are like the kiosks where you can buy like a fucking iPad and shit, right? Like the vending machine, you pop in like $500 and it'll drop an iPad. And
no, it wasn't a vending machine. This one had it was all like a mall kiosk. Like there was a girl there, cute girl. Yeah, I'm like asking about the earbuds and stuff, and so I ended up buying them. Right, they were. God, I can't even remember how long ago this was. It was a while ago, though. And it was these same things. They were the cord was black and white. Like these are green and gray or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wearing them in the gym. And after a couple of years, the sweat started to break down the material, like the rubber. Shit. So it was starting to expose wire, right?
Oh, man.
Ironically, I'm back in that same airport. Right, I'm in Denver. I'm like, you know what? Let me fucking just ask about swapping these things out. I don't know about warranty or anything else. Dude, they took the fucking old ones, gave me full credit for them, and then because I got the original ones from a military discount, right? The girl hooked me up with all kinds of discounts. So I had those, had them for a long time. They were fucking nasty because that's all I did was wear them in the fucking gym, and you never clean these fucking things. So I go and I exchange them. It wasn't the same person. It wasn't the same girl, by the way.
Yeah.
They give me, like I said, full credit. Like the price difference was like $25, but after they gave me all the discounts, I paid $0.
That's fucking great.
Upgraded Bose earbuds that are like have the sweat-proof stuff in them, and they've held up over the years.
Yeah.
They fucking sound great. They like have this silicone where you can't fucking see.
Yeah, all I can see is like your eyes right now. Like everything is it looks like you're wearing a ninja mask.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the Bose story.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, these are real nice. I could go and get a Bluetooth set or whatever, but these still work fine. I get the little dongle, I plug them in to the Lightning. The only thing that sucks is you can't. When iPhone got rid of the headphone jack, like you can't charge and plug something in at the same time.
Oh, right.
And Apple doesn't make they don't have an adapter that will split it. Like you can get an aftermarket one, but they're complete garbage. So you just got to make sure it's charged before you fucking go gallivanting around.
Mm-hmm. So while I have you on the line here, I don't know if you heard, but what do you think about the story of, because we're not talking about this on the podcast, I tell you that, but what do you think about Russian bots are behind Kelly Marie Tran's online harassment?
I did not see that.
Yes, this is a story from, hold on, Just Fresh calls it Cinema Bland. It's a Cinema Blend. But he says they are the cancer of entertainment journalism. But yes, the headline: Russian bots allegedly behind Kelly Marie Tran Star Wars The Last Jedi social media attacks.
Well, I don't believe there was enough hate for The Last Jedi that I thoroughly believe that dickbags would go and fucking harass an actor that they didn't like.
Right.
I mean, people are just like that, especially on fucking Twitter. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Like it is such a. I remember. So back when you were doing the other podcast. You remember when I know you're going to remember this.
Mm-hmm.
There was that thing that you made a comment about, like, basically you did something on Twitter that fucking basically told fat people, hey, look, you can get skinny too.
Oh, yeah. No, it was an article I wrote for a Magic the Gathering website. And it's so funny because that incident, that one incident is what started driving me away from the left, like from liberals and like all the fucking crazies over there. That was the beginning of my political shift, I'll say.
It was. And it was fairly radical shift, considering like how you and we had another guy in the squadron, we had Liam. You and Liam were like the guys that were standing on the left side of the room with the rest of all the fucking, the right guys.
Yeah.
And I'll use that literally. And, and for you, like, it was really, really funny, like, to watch the conversion, to be honest. And in the beginning, I'm like, is he serious about this? It's like you almost like you're playing as like a Stephen Colbert type, like, oh, I'm going to play this character.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it was a weird shift. It was my red pill moment, as they say. It's where, all of a sudden you take a step back and you really start to see things for the way they really are. And you're like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, it was, I remember when you were talking about the backlash from that, though, was amazing.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like you were shaming people and stuff like that, and the article was very, very positive. I'll put that out there. I mean, yeah. I had read it, and it was something that you were going through this whole work. This was the beginning of your workout phase too.
Yep.
Like you were running and doing all this stuff, and you dropped a bunch of weight, and it just like, hey, nerds, you don't have to sit there and be a fat ass. Get out and do something. And people were fucking outraged. The shit that I was like saw on Twitter about that just goes to show, you had a successful Magic the Gathering podcast with a fairly loyal following, and obviously Magic the Gathering is a big deal.
Yeah.
So if you hashtag anything with whatever it is, MGM, I don't know. I'm not a Magic guy, so I don't know.
MTG is the proper abbreviation.
There you go. See, he knows his stuff. But yeah, it's amazing to see how like Twitter gives people this like sense of I can spew off a bunch of nonsense and there's zero retribution about it.
Pretty much, yeah. And we lost Dave. Like something like this, Tom, like, are you considering this to be our pregame tailgate? Because, and I think we've mentioned this on the show before, like when we go live like this, it's just Dave and I just sitting here bullshitting for like 20 minutes. Like you guys will see that, you'll get that notification. All Things Star Wars is about to go live. And, and while you're seeing that and while you guys are like tapping your feet waiting, Dave and I are just sitting here bullshitting back and forth like this. That's kind of what we do. So, and I've always wondered like if we should be doing that stuff live, but we talk about a few things that we really can't like publicly talk about. I won't go any further than that. And some things that you just wouldn't give a shit about. It's like, talking about people in our unit and stuff who you don't know who the fuck that is or wouldn't even care, I would imagine. Should I try to? It says he's still in the call. So I don't know. I don't know if he can just like hop back in or what, but we'll see. I'll see if he says anything in the chat. Hopefully he didn't die. Hopefully that wasn't his crash moment. Shit. Oh, God. I might actually feel bad if he got into an accident. MGM was a park, yes. The MGM, it's part of the Disney World in Florida. It's the MGM Studios, whatever, which I don't think MGM as a film company even exists anymore. There's also the MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas, which I don't know if even that exists anymore. I'll have to Google it. So speaking of Disney, I think, we've mentioned it on the podcast before, but my family and I are planning this big vacation to California in April of next year. So Oh, it's just called Hollywood Studios now. It's not the MGM anymore, which again, it's makes sense because it's not a real brand. Colin Show, got to see Big Lovin' and Solsky. Yeah, it's true. I've never actually. I don't know what they sound like. I know what they look like. I'm friends with them on Facebook, but yeah, I'd be curious to see what they sound like. Big Lovin' looks like a big guy. Like he looks like he could like rip me in half with his hands. So I'd be curious what he sounds like. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, family vacation. We're going to Disneyland in April of next year, and perfect. You would fit in well with us, Don. What? So apparently you can't say asshole in the chat or it's held for review. I will click show because I don't believe in censorship. Big Lovin' is large and in charge. Yeah. So anyway, Disneyland next year. I've been saving up money for almost 2 fucking years for this vacation. And the shitty thing is, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this. Remember a few weeks ago, I was talking about how my dog died. There was more like shitty news to that whole story that I didn't even have a chance to get into on the podcast. But one of them was we had to put him in for surgery because he was having some issues with his internal organs. Long story short, he needed surgery. Like it was the only way that they were going to possibly be able to save him, and it was fucking $3,000. But I'm like, no, absolutely, like I would do anything for this dog. He is the most amazing, just beloved animal that I could ever imagine. And I'm like, yes, take whatever amount of money you need, please save him. And so like it wiped out a huge chunk of the money I had saved up for this vacation. And of course he still didn't make it. And that was the thing that hurt the worst. I had no issue parting with that money whatsoever if it was to save him. But the fact that, he didn't make it and my fucking savings got cleaned out, it just, it hurt. It hurt a lot. I mean, and I don't even want to think about it, honestly. Sorry. 6'4", Big Lovin' is 6'4". Holy shit. He does look like a big dude. So let's see. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, it's game week, right? Michigan and Penn State. So I'm sure that's going to come up during the show today. I don't have any Michigan gear, obviously, but goddamn, if Michigan wins this weekend, I have to find a way to acquire like a Michigan tank top and wear it when Dave and I record for the first time in the studio afterwards. Yeah, that would be fun. He gets so mad. It's great. Whenever I talk about Michigan, he gets so angry, which is why I do it. It's that whole thing where if like somebody does something that pisses you off, you only just want to do it more. So he did this to himself, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm big enough, and really, all the ladies tell me that size doesn't matter, Don. So I don't know. Seriously though, I wear a men's large. What else? BYU and Penn State both have the same colors, and both will lose. So I've got to ask Tom. Like, obviously, you do not like BYU. You've clearly made your hatred for Steve Young very apparent. Why is that? Is this just like a friendly interreligion rivalry, or is there something about BYU and that sect of your particular denomination that you don't like? I don't know. I'm trying to understand your hatred there. A double XL. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not that big. I'm 5'6". That tells you anything. Yeah, that's right. Just fresh. Size doesn't matter. It's how you use your equipment that counts. That's what I keep telling myself. Well, one of these days, Tom, you will have to enlighten us. So, all right, we're still about 15 minutes from Dave getting home, assuming he's not dead. We don't know, but let's pull up another website. Let's see what we can talk about in current events. All right, we already talked about Amazon Prime. Download numbers for the last episode, for episode 77? 78? Oh, we're recording 79 tonight, so 78. Yeah, download numbers for 78 are really low. I don't understand. Like, I'm talking like hundreds less than the previous episodes. So I don't know what you guys are doing. Make sure you're downloading the fucking audio episodes, please, for the love of God. Are people just not interested in hearing about Rebels? I don't know. Like, it's a big difference. So I'm curious why the numbers are so low. I don't get it. All right. I'm just perusing the sidebar cantina right now. Seeing anything? Nope, nope, nope. I think I'm in too many Star Wars groups on Facebook. Because like my whole Facebook feed is like nothing but Star Wars shit now. Like anything my family posts, it's all buried. But I do it to push the podcast. Like I'm part of, I'd say about a dozen, maybe 14 Star Wars groups. And every week when I push out the podcast, I'll push it out to every single one of these groups too. Because fuck it, why not? If they think I'm spamming, they can kick me out. But nobody has yet. So I'm still friends with Hank Chen. I don't know if anybody follows competitive gaming at all, like especially competitive retro gaming. But if you remember the movie The King of Kong, it was about this guy, Steve Wiebe, and what's his face? Billy Mitchell. And they were competing for the high score in Donkey Kong. Anyway, that movie was actually really popular amongst the gaming community. And it was so popular. And like after that came out, like everybody was trying to break the fucking Donkey Kong record. And they had this big event in New Jersey, like 45 minutes from where I live, called the Kong Off. And fucking Steve Wiebe was there, Billy Mitchell was there, and this guy Hank Chen was there. And Hank Chen, I think, is the current record holder for Donkey Kong. He broke both Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe's records. And you know, I asked him, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" He's like, he was the nicest fucking guy you'll ever meet in the world. He's like, "Fuck yeah, man! Get this picture. Can you tag me in that on Facebook?" He's like, "Friend me on Facebook and tag me in that." I'm like, yeah. And I'm still friends with him. This was like 7 years ago, and I'm still friends with him on Facebook. So that's pretty cool. All right. Anything going on in the chat? Air Force football, great game. Yep. You guys won. Battlefront 4 concept art. Was there a Battlefront 3? I don't think there was even a Battlefront 3. So what's this Battlefront 4 concept art you're speaking of? Up and away. Okay, you're not even saying it right, Tom. So just stop. That seems shitty. What seems shitty? Long story. Oh, the dog thing. Yeah. Alrighty. Guess I should be checking my phone, seeing if Dave calls. How's my my signal, by the way? Like, am I skipping? Is my video fairly clear? Because I'm on this hotel Wi-Fi, so I don't know how good the signal actually is. The NYU thing. There wasn't, but it was pre-planning. Oh, okay. So, all right, just fresh. So what's the deal with the concept art itself? Like, what's so special about it, I guess? Anyway. For any of you pro wrestling fans out there, I don't watch current pro wrestling. I haven't really watched it on a regular basis since about 2002. But there's this podcast. They're more of a YouTube channel than a podcast, but they actually do an audio version of their YouTube show also. But it's called OSW Review. It stands for Old School Wrestling. If you were ever a wrestling fan in the 80s or 90s, That shit is hilarious. It is a great, great podcast, and I would highly recommend. I'd recommend doing the YouTube version. Just subscribe to OSW Review on YouTube, and go back because they go back and they review like all of the old pay-per-views, like all the pro wrestling pay-per-views. And I'm just going to say this now. I've stolen a couple of bits from them over the years. So if you do that, you may recognize a few things that I've done or said on this podcast that you've heard on there. Whatever. Michael Cole. Yeah, that was after my time. But I never really liked him. Like I've watched some current stuff. Like whenever WrestleMania comes around, I'll like watch the main event. And yeah, I don't like Michael Cole at all. Yeah, Glenn Jacobs, fucking Kane. He's the mayor. An episode. Well, I mean, we have had one already, Mark. We did that for our 50th episode. I don't know if you were listening back then. I thought you were listening back then. But yes, yeah, the plan is to definitely do more call-in stuff, especially once we redesign the studio. In fact, what my vision for the studio redesign is we'll have a setup to where when we have guests on, like I want to be able to accommodate at least 2 in-studio guests, but I also want to set it up so where we could, if we want a remote guest, we can do that. So, and that would also accommodate any call-ins. And I want to have it to where we have 2 cameras. One looking down at me, one looking down at Dave, and we do kind of a split screen on the feed. So half of the screen is the shot of my face, and half of the screen is the shot of Dave. Think about if you watch any of the Joe Rogan stuff on YouTube. You know how it's kind of like that sort of Dutch angle, I guess. Is that what they call that? Anyway, it's not like him looking straight into the camera like this. It's like him talking to the person who's right there, and the camera's right here. And I want to have that angle for both me and Dave. Split screen so you can see us both as we're recording the show. So you can see both of our faces and both of our reactions as the other person's talking. I can't do it the way Rogan does where it just flops back and forth between the two because I think that requires like a third person to kind of like actually trigger the camera back and forth, and we're not that special. So, but it would be easy enough, I think, just split the screen down the middle and just have both feeds going. So that is the plan. It's better than just like the straight up side view of both of us. And then this way we can better arrange like the decorations behind us. You can just see nothing but like Star Wars shit behind each of us. Oh, Cena. I didn't like, well, first of all, I didn't really watch wrestling back during Cena's days. But I mean, I would still follow it. I'd still go to like the wrestling website, and I'd still follow the news, and I'd always hear about this fucking guy. And whenever I would like randomly tune into a Raw or a pay-per-view, I'm like, this fucking guy's annoying. The whole white rapper gimmick I did not like. And then of course, you know how everybody hated him, just like everybody hated Roman Reigns. I was kind of on that bandwagon. I was just like, yeah, fuck this guy. But now I'm kind of indifferent. Like I don't dislike him, but I'm not like a huge fan either. I don't know. CM Punk, I really liked him. Like when he did the whole pipe bomb promo, I actually did start watching wrestling again for a very short period of time because I really liked him. He came to Philly right after that too. Yeah, one of the Wizard World Comic Cons. I saw him. I didn't actually go into his booth, but I kind of saw him walking through the venue. I did talk to Jimmy Hart that day though. He was telling me about because I was telling him how I was in the Air Force. He was telling me about he has a son who was in the Marines for years. Really nice guy. I got a picture, like I did like pay to get a picture and talk to Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And there's a picture of me. It's on my Facebook somewhere, like buried in my pictures. It's me next to Ted DiBiase, and he let me hold the fucking $1 Million belt, and I've got it strapped around my shoulder. It was great. It's like one of my favorite pictures of all time. Stone Bleeds. Hello, sir. Who's Stone Bleeds? Is that orange jacket guy, or is that somebody else? Hated Punk. Liked the old DX and Hogan. Hogan was an amalgam for me. I liked when I first started wrestling back in like the early 80s. Everybody liked Hogan. You couldn't not like Hogan. But by about the time WrestleMania 5 was over, after he beat Savage, took the title back, I was kind of done with Hogan. And at that point, I was huge on the Ultimate Warrior because, you know, SummerSlam 88, Ultimate Warrior beating the Honky Tonk Man in like 30 seconds for the IC title. And I was like hardcore Warrior fan at that point. So when WrestleMania 6 rolled around and he fought Hogan, that was like the greatest pay-per-view for me. It's a shame his run wasn't very successful because I always loved Warrior. I was actually like really upset when he died. So yeah, it was. That's who I like. Then, of course, by the time, the mid 90s rolled around, I fucking hated Bret Hart. Like everybody's, oh, Bret Hart, we love Bret Hart. You fuck him. I always liked the heels. Like after Warrior left, I was a big fan of the heels. I loved Undertaker when he was a heel, loved Shawn Michaels when he was a heel, loved Steve Austin when he was a heel. You know what? It was never that big on The Rock until like he like had his final face turn back in like 98, 99. Mick Foley. I liked him back in the day. But I mean, the Attitude Era was so good. Like, and I was on Vince Russo's podcast, and I still credit him for a lot of why the Attitude Era was good. I understand that like he had some real shit ideas too, but when he was there in that system in the WWF with Vince McMahon and the rest of the production crew and everybody, like they just made some fucking just fantastic TV. Like it was to where like you cannot miss Raw. Every single week you had to be home for Raw, no matter what. And then everything kind of went downhill in the 2000s. All right, it's almost 7:30. I don't know where the fuck Dave is. I'm not getting a text from him yet. So hopefully we killed a little bit of time, while we wait for Dave. I'm going to step away. I'm not going to stop the broadcast, but I have to piss, and I'm going to change my shirt. So y'all can stay here if you want to. I'll be back in a minute. Sexy boy, not your boy, I'm just a sexy boy, not your boy toy. I make him hot. All right, anybody still here? Let's see. Still no text from Dave. All right. Let me get caught up on the chat here. Basic training. Oh. You know what, Tom? It's funny you mentioned the whole Hogan heel when you were in basic training. I was at my first technical school. I was about 2 months removed from Air Force basic training when, Hogan did the turn. And the funny thing about that was, when we were there, we were in these big dorms, like these massive dorms where we shared rooms with everybody. And we had like 2 day rooms. And in each day room, one would be playing Raw, the other would be playing Nitro. And I'd be going back and forth every single week between Raw and Nitro. Like I was always a WWF loyalist. But during the days of the NWO, I mean, you couldn't not tune in. And I got to a point like when I finally got to New Jersey to my permanent station, it was still at the height of the Monday Night Wars. And I'd watch Raw live and I would record Nitro on VHS. And so I'd still watch both, but my loyalties were always to the WWF. I never once did I have any loyalty to Nitro. Big lovin', my man. So we're still waiting for Dave to get home. So I'm just, again, killing time. I was going back and reading the chat. See what I missed. Hopefully I'm not too loud. Like right on the other side of this camera is a wall. And that's like right where my neighbor's room is. So Sorry if I'm being too loud. If it helps, though, it's the last week we're doing this, so we'll be in the studio after this. Oh, Big Lovin', since you're actually in now, how tall are you? Because people are saying that you could be anywhere from 6'2" to 6'8". So we all want to know, how tall is Big Lovin'? Let's see. Michael Cole sucks. He was art for light side Vader, all Palpatine, etc. Oh, that sounds awesome. Just Fresh was talking earlier about concept art for Battlefront 4, which there was never a 3, but this sounds amazing. I wonder if did any of this stuff ever actually leak out? Like, I may just have to Google it and find out. We should do a pregame tailgate every week. So, did you elaborate on that, Tom? Like, what do you mean by a pregame tailgate? Do tell. And Big Love is 6'5". God damn. That's going in the notes. We'll put it under this other listener shout out. All right. It is officially in the show notes. Big Lovin' is a big son of a bitch. You know, and the big beard and the long hair really kind of helps, that mountain man image. It was an Instagram post. All right, well, take care, Just Fresh. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully the real podcast will start any minute now once Dave gets home. My wife is 1.5 feet shorter. I'm assuming you meant shorter. So that would make her 5. Wait. So minus a foot from 6'5" would make her 5'5", and then minus a half would make her 4'11". Your wife is 4'11"? No fucking way. Hold on, I gotta go onto your Facebook. Oh, and is Mark still in the chat? Mark Somerville? Don't tell him I said this. Unless he's in the chat, then he'll hear it. But his wife looks like she's like 20 years younger than him. So either he looks old for his age or she looks young for her age. Or she's really 20 years younger than him. I don't mean that in an offensive way at all. I'm just saying she looks much younger than him. At the sidebar cantina. Oh my God, we should record that. We should do a sidebar cantina parody song. I'm looking at Facebook right now, by the way. Bug. I thought I closed a window that I didn't want to close for a second. So my setup is crazy now. So I normally use Google Chrome, which I'm gonna cut a promo on them during the show today. But I've always used Google Chrome. But when Dave and I record, I use Google Chrome when I've got reference material for the podcast. I've got them all up in tabs. But then I open up Edge, Microsoft Edge, to keep our show notes up, because that's saved to our shared Google Drive for the podcast. So, in order to have both my personal Google account up and the podcast, I have to have it open in 2 different fucking browsers. And then today, when I went to go live on here, it said, oh, you cannot use Edge to do YouTube Live. You have to use Internet Explorer, which I don't use intentionally and haven't for 15 years. But they're forcing me to do it. So I now have a Internet Explorer tab or window open, a fucking Microsoft Edge, and a Google Chrome open. I'm a mess right now. Oh, there's the picture of Big Lovin' and his wife. Where did it go? It was just there and now it disappeared. For fuck's sake. I don't know what the hell's up with YouTube. Or not YouTube, but Facebook. There it is. Oh my God, she really is that much shorter than you. All right, now I don't understand the filter, no filter. So does like she watch her language and you don't? What that means? That's great. All right, what the fuck was I doing? Oh yeah, that's what I was. Okay. Just killing time, waiting for Dave. Snapchat shit. I don't know what that means. Oh, filter. Gotcha. The girls do it. I don't use Snapchat. I think I installed it once, used it for about 5 minutes. I'm like, this is fucking dumb. And I got rid of it. Michigan Wolverine slogan. We can yell at Dave. Yeah, what's the Michigan slogan? What's their fight song or their slogan that we can, or is it just go blue? Red Hat. Yes, that's. I think I had started to talk about that earlier, but yeah, IBM bought Red Hat Linux today. Red Hat's used a lot. Like it's a big acquisition, but apparently they way overpaid for it too. Like they paid like a 60% premium on the fucking stock, which is like, hey, you know, if I was the owners of Red Hat at the time, sure, I'll just go buy my private island now and have fun. But it seems like every time like somebody big like this gets bought out, it immediately goes to shit, like over time. I've noticed this in the tech industry. It always happens. Like, you know, some big piece of software or some website makes it big. It's like fucking, yeah, super successful. Now we're going to get bought out or we're going to merge with this other fucking corporation. And then it just immediately goes to shit. Dave just got home. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this broadcast now. I'm going to let Dave fire up the real one, and then hopefully we'll jump right into it. I don't think we're going to like do our normal 15 minutes of bullshit before we start just because of timing. So I'm going to stop this broadcast, and we'll see you guys all on the other side. Thanks for hanging out and bullshitting with me.